Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. I've got a great show for you today and a wonderful young lady that is with us. And by the way, where, young lady, are you calling from?
I am calling from Southwest Wisconsin in my little office, which used to be a bedroom that is in a farmhouse, and I reside on a dairy farm.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So did you get to milk cows?
Well, my partner, he does the milking, and a few years ago they went to robotic milking. So
that's kind of like when my wife was pumping rather than it's kind of the same concept.
Yes, it was one of those life decisions of my knees won't take the floor anymore, or you hire labor, or you just build a new facility. And if his son had not said, yes, I'm all in, I think he probably would no longer be milking. But so his son said yes, and they went robotics, and it has definitely freed up time. So in the morning.
You know, and that's the thing, is that time is the only commodity that we can never get back.
Yes.
And it's so important that we spend our time wisely and do the things that can really benefit us. And one of the things that you do, you're a coach, and you help people with something that that you help people achieve spiritual alignment with their soul, to acknowledge, surrender, and release limiting beliefs. I really like what, let me begin by saying, first of all, your name is Anne, and I would love for you to pronounce your last name so that I don't massacre it again.
You won't massacre it. Think of it as like flossing your teeth, drop the F and put a K. So it's Klossing.
Oh, very nice.
Klossing.
So Anne Klossing is our guest, and she is a coach. She is a cow milker, or at least has been in the past.
Not really. That's his.
and what she does primarily, if I could narrow it down, is that you help people achieve clarity. Describe what you mean when we say achieve clarity in their life and their existence and why they're here and their connection to their soul. And I guess I'm doing it for you. So I'll stop and shut up and let you do it now.
My passion is connecting people with their soul. So the channel clearing part is I'm the channel between the client and their soul. So if you're in a position like I was, where I, at that time, was a jumbled mess of negative emotion. And if someone told me to go meditate, I would have went, huh? Quieting the mind, because mine was just crazy. It was all over the place. And when you feel scattered like that, you've separated yourself. And you're never separated from your soul, because your soul resides within you. But it's that perception that we separate ourselves from the creator. And you're never separated, because the soul is within you and without you. So you're like a funnel. So it's centered. The soul is centered behind the navel, comes up and out. It also goes down so that you ground yourself. And the grounding part helps you relax, become in tune, quiet yourself. And channel clearing is the ability for me to tap in with your permission to speak with your soul so that you can get the information right now that you're ready to work on. And that comes out in a letter format from me. Then we get together and we'll discuss the findings. And then do a healing. If there's a healing, sometimes we'll do a meditation. It's whatever spirit is calling the shots on this one, not me. So it's a way for you to begin to develop a practice of getting to know your soul, getting to know your guardian angel, getting to know the creator that is within you. And that's what you came here for, is expression, and to figure out and be in joy. You know, everyone can get caught up. I won't say everyone. I got caught up in my purpose. What's my purpose? I wanted to know what my purpose was. The purpose for everyone, and Spirit will tell you this, is to be in joy. Be in joy as much as you can. And purpose will come out later. So when you're struggling to reach that point, to figure out what your passions are, you're not in a place of joy. So you almost push it away. So I'm here to settle the nerves, let you know that what you're feeling is totally normal. Even when you feel like you're losing your mind, or you're angry or frustrated or overwhelmed, it's all part of it. And it's, instead of being afraid or being frustrated, and I used to say this, I'm so sick and tired of being tired. Well, now let's lean into that. Let's lean into that. What is tired trying to tell you? Is tired trying to tell you to slow down so that you can regroup, so that you can figure out what your next step is? And the glorious thing about life is we make it, or I made it very hard on myself. And that was the challenging part. So you went away, Kevin. So I just hope that I'm still there and we're still live.
I did something that is, I hit a button and I didn't even know I was going to hit that button. I didn't even know that button would do anything, but the button did something, and it made me go.
You went away.
And
so my security blanket went away. I'm like, don't panic.
Suddenly you were by yourself.
No. Yes. And that's interesting. So I'm glad it did this. Why are some people, I used to be this way, why are we so afraid of being alone?
I don't know.
Because you're never alone.
I know.
And in the quiet is the beauty of discovery. So when you're in that, I was depressed. I gave my power away to people, and it wasn't a fun place to be. And I hit a point where it was like, I can't do this anymore. And I began to listen. And I just kind of followed the breadcrumbs. So I'm here to help you assimilate your breadcrumbs so that you can put your story together faster than what I did. How's that? That's
perfect. That's perfect, because I think that all of us are looking for, when, you know, in the beginning of the show, we say we're looking, what is your purpose? Why are you here? Well, a lot of times we look for that purpose, but we don't leave it alone and be quiet and listen to what our purpose is, because it will show up. Whether you really want it to or not, it will. If you listen, it will show up. Mm-hmm. And then you just follow the path, follow the breadcrumbs, and that will lead you from, as long as you stay open, at least from my frame of reference, if you stay open, that'll lead you from one place to the next place, and it'll lead you down the path that you chose for yourself before you even got here.
Correct. Right. And we might deviate from that path, but that's why we have guardian angels and guides that will throw us, I call them bones, spiritual bones, to catch your attention, to get you back on course. Or you could be like me and you have repeated unpleasant experiences. And each time you repeat it is the opportunity for you to discover it of, oh, when I think this way, all these negative, crappy situations happen. And that's where I'd gotten that this experience with this experience plus this experience, and I'll describe the experiences. Very young age, I was fondled by my maternal grandfather, carried that with me for a long, long time. And then I thought I was going to have the world by the butt. I am woman. I have a Bachelor of Science degree. I will conquer the world. And then the world handed me this job, and I went, I don't like this.
By the way, that's Helen Reddy, if anybody wants to know. I am
There
woman,
you
hear
go.
me roar.
Yes, I am woman. And it was like, I discovered very quickly that that particular world wasn't so pleasant. And it just, I was kind of taken aback by it, and I started running into those ceilings that I am a woman and I'm not a man. And because I'm a woman, I didn't get this, but I didn't stay wounded from that. I just kind of worked around it. I just tried to be me. And I was always in jobs where I work with men. And what I found when I worked with men, that if you could crack through that exterior, that once you cracked it and they don't think that you're going to hurt them, screw them over, or whatever in business, you are it. They will go to you over that guy, and that guy, because they trust you. And I had clients that I didn't want to have, but because I faced them face to face and I talked to their level and I didn't take their crap, then I got them every time they walked in the door. And we had a beautiful relationship. It was like we could both banter back and forth. And it was like, okay, what do you want me to do? Well, I don't know. What am I going to do? It's like, well, come here and sit down and we'll talk about the options.
Well, and you mentioned that and this happens in relationships all the time. You end up dating a different person in the same suit.
Yes.
And you think that you are doing something different, but you're really not. You're repeating the same behavior. And and I love your opinion on this, from my reference, spirit, your guides, your angels, they're giving you the same experience to tell you that's not how you should do it. And so open up to a new way of being, a new
Right.
experience, and that will change everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have all these experiences. So, I did those things that society wanted you to do. You go to school, you get the degree, you get your job, you get married, you have the kids, you do this, you do that. And then all of a sudden, I always call my first husband the poor bastard, because I put expectations on him. I had expectations of him in my mind, but would I verbalize them? Hardly ever. So when he didn't do X, Y, or Z, then I get all pissed off at him. Well, how much fun of a relationship is that? And by the way, we have a great relationship now. We have a grown daughter, and we still get together at Christmas time. She is our daughter. He's part of the family, and he is more than welcome. Not many can do that. I know it's becoming, I think, more accepted. But it's just, we realized we weren't good together. So we both married a second time, and we both married very challenging people, to the point, mine challenged me to the point where I thought I was losing my mind. It was I would call it a narcissistic type relationship. And I'm not going to sit here and blame him, because I'm an equal part of that. We brought out the worst in each other. And I just said, no more, I'm not doing it anymore. And after that is when I call it, if you've ever heard it, the unwinding of the Kundalini energy. So if you're a Reiki person, you've probably heard of it. So it's this energy cord from the polar divine to Mother Earth, and it winds and spirals. And when you see it, it sometimes looks like a snake. They'll refer to it as that unwinding or uncoiling of a snake. And in some people, that goes very quickly, without resistance, and ta-da, you're awakened.
Well,
Or you're like me, and it goes crank, 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 and then that coil just starts tangling. And then when it undoes, you're resisting it, and it just, I resisted it. And then all this, I'm going to call it funky stuff, was happening, and just strange experiences. I'm living alone in my house. I'm having bangs on the rooftop that I can't figure out where they're coming from. And it's like, what is happening? And it was the shakeup. It was the shakeup from spirit to get me to wake up, to get me to realize that you can talk to the other side. But from a place of fear, what do you suppose I was talking with? Negative energy. So it was scary as hell. And if that's what you believe at that point in time, that's what you're going to get. It was extremely excruciating for me. I had very wonky experiences. And once I got past it and I started studying Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer, Esther and Jerry Hicks, I was like going, I've really been making this tough on myself. And I've really been self-taught. And then I always say that I'm taught by the universe. I kept learning. I kept writing letters. I kept writing letters to God. I would write letters to my dad. And then what would come back at the end of these would be who you were born to be. Well, it's all warm and fuzzy the first time. And the second time, it's like, be who you were born to be. Then the third time it happened, it's like, be who you were born to be. Fourth time, be who you were born to be. What the hell is be who you were born to be? It's like, what does that mean? And that's what I don't want to lead people down the path that it says, Anne's going to give you clarity. Anne does not give you clarity. Anne channels for you. You obtain your clarity by doing the work that your soul gives you. That's the beauty of it.
And I would like to talk to you a little bit about that, because when we talk in terms of our soul is the essence of who we really are. And it is where we come from. The soul came from the other side. It inhabited this physical body, and they together are working to achieve the life that your soul wants for this incarnation.
Correct.
But a lot of times we poo-poo that. And science will tell you, consciousness, which is your soul, that doesn't really exist. But it really does. So there are people that just set it aside, and I can't imagine an existence that the soul would create to where that would be not a very fun thing for them if we were not intimately involved with our soul, so that we could learn from it and achieve what it came here to do as well. So do you find that a lot of your clients and a lot of people, even the concept of what the soul is and how the soul plays a role in our life is difficult for some people to understand?
The level of clients that I'm working with right now are those individuals who have some sense of spirituality. They are the meditators. They are practiced. Many of my clients come from the Canfield group, from Jack Canfield's side.
Oh, sure.
I've got a few from Mary Morrissey because I studied under both those, and that's where my peeps are. So what they can experience is, okay, I know these laws, or I think I know these laws, but I'm just stuck, or I just don't feel good. So this is what came out in my last email. I do a weekly email, and it's usually informational, plus has some taglines to my programs. And sometimes I channel. So it's from we. And the collective that I channel, they refer to themselves as we. And I'm like, well, don't I get a name? Like Abraham? Like Seth? And it's like, no, it's we. And I've come to appreciate that. And we is because we're all connected. We all come from the one source. So whether you're here on the earthly plane or you're on the other side, we're all in that same pool of consciousness. So I really have embraced that term. So we describes it as, because of our upbringing, wherever you were born, wherever your religious background, that's your environment. That's what you came into this world as. So you've got these things that you learned as a child, And maybe you've learned to slough some of those off. They don't agree with you anymore. And you've tried some things and you're doing what you think you're doing and following your purpose, but you're frustrated and maybe stuck. That's kind of who I'm working with right now. So what Spirit wants everyone to know is the separation comes in with the belief that heaven's up there and we're down here. Well, what is that? That's separation. It's only perception. So what Spirit would like you to consider is that every breath you take, you are breathing in life. And when you breathe in life, you breathe in the Creator. So every breath you take is creation. And you should find some peace in that, or look for it and lean into that. And that's why when you take a big deep breath, you become calm, especially when you blow it out through a straw, because now you're going from, oh my God, fight, flight, fright, frustrated, overwhelmed, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. And now you're going to rest and digest and creativity, that calmness. So what I help people do is connect them with their soul so that their soul can come through and say, you need to work on this, 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 and this. And what they're doing is, Spirit explained it to me recently with a client, which was Earth ascended when we were in COVID. The world quieted down during COVID. So almost 2 years. And the Earth ascended. And Earth is creation. It's part of us. She ascended. The rest of us are all catching up to her now. So because she's ascended in the lightness, and what people get upset about global warming and all this stuff going on, and it's take a relax pill, I say, and allow Mother Nature to do her thing. It's up to us to adjust to her. So as we're trying to catch up to Mother Nature, I have seen some of the most practiced meditators, people that you would look at and say, man, she has got it, or he has got it. And they're feeling like a rocket booster now. So Spirit described it to me as if you were watching a rocket, it's sitting there and they charge it. They start firing up those engines and the machine starts to shake. There's so much force that it takes to get that rocket up and out and into the atmosphere. Then they throw the engines on and they're firing them up and they're heating, and you can see the smoke and all everything blowing, and then they hit the button and it's takeoff. That thing is just a rocking. The astronauts inside are shaking, and you're the astronaut because your soul is shaking you up just like this with frustration and overwhelm. Maybe it's disease. What is going on in your life that you really need to take a look at? And that soul rocket is breaking those paradigms for you because it's pointed and it comes through and it's coming up and out. And each time you break down a layer, you get closer to what your passion is. And it's this unrest and this shaking, and it feels terrible sometimes. And I know because I've gone through it, still going through it.
By the way, I got to interrupt you here because I got to take a break, but we're talking with Ann Klossing. Go to annklossing.com. That's close, I think. KLOSSING.com. And you can get a lot of information about her. When we come back, Ann, I want to ask you, how important is music in your life? Because you've already given us at least 2 that I'm aware of, titles of songs that are important, that have entered your life in a unique way. We're going to be right back. So stay with us, please.
You're listening to Positive Talk Radio. We're going to take a short break to tell you audio and music creators about our commercial affiliate, Lyric Vids, specializing in creating amazing and engaging lyric videos. Are you looking to promote your videos in the most engaging way, but you don't have an animator and an editor? Whether you're an artist, musician, or business with a message to share, our lyric videos are designed to hook viewers and amplify your reach. Go to positivetalkradio.net positivetalkradio.net/lyric vids. That's positivetalkradio.net/LYRICVIDS now to get started. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. We hope you enjoyed learning about our affiliate Lyric Vids, who specialize in creating captivating animated lyric videos. Now let's get back to the show.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. And our guest today, her name is Ann Klossing, and she is a channeler, and she helps you find the essence of who you are, which is your soul. And one of the things I wanted to ask her, because it's very important to me, which is why I can recognize some of these things. So far, you've given us 2 titles of songs. I Am Woman, for one, and Every Step You Take, and is the other one, and every breathe. You said the third one was Breathe.
Yeah, Breathe. Is that Carrie Underwood?
I'm sorry, Every Breath You Take.
Yeah,
and that was Sting did that song. And is music important to you? And does it reach your soul level? Do you know what I'm talking about?
So yes. So Rocket Man is the other one.
Thank you.
So as you're upset, and as you start breaking these paradigms, and you're starting these epiphanies, and you're starting to pull it all together, and you're going, aha, that's what my soul wants me to do. Then you begin your action phase, and you're in your action phase with your soul, and you're going to source and sort with your soul, and you're going to get your priorities from your soul. And as you do things on your list of your bucket list of whatever it is for you, as those things come off, you can get to that point of completeness, which is a wonderful place to take a rest, take a break, recalibrate. But if you stay there so long, you're going to go into boredom. Then you're going to start to get into frustration and overwhelm. You're just going to start to go down that emotional scale. And that's always the good news, because that's what your soul's designed to do. High five, be in awe, be in celebration of your accomplishments, rest. But if you rest too long, then he or she, that's both actually, it's going to shake you. And then you're on your rocket trip again. So the rocket never goes away. It becomes faster. So when you become practiced in how to do this, your rocket launches are going to take 2 minutes. And you're up. Not those for months, years on ends of this turmoil. Yeah, the rocket that never went off. Thrusters are on, but we ain't going anywhere. So yeah,
it's like when I love the way you phrase that, because some of us, and God love us all, but some of us are deeply involved in our own drama.
Yes,
we're deeply involved in being the victim. Oh Lordy, my life, if my life could just be this, I'd be happy. Well, you know what? It just doesn't work that way, because it's not designed to work that way. It is a journey that we are on, and there is no finish line. It's a complete continuing to learn more and have experiences and figure, oh, that didn't work out well, but that one did. So let's go do more of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And as you ascend and you learn to ascend quickly, you'll notice the people in your life that don't get on that rocket ship with you. And that's okay.
And they go away. At least in my life.
They will. And celebrate that as well. Welcome them on their journey. Send them away. And that's healthy. That is very healthy. And sometimes it's tough too. I know I've had to do that a few times with people who I deeply cared about, but in the relationship, I just felt like my energy was being pulled back towards that, and I just had to break it off. So, yeah. So music, yes, music was a big part of my healing, and that the spirit will use music to tap you on the shoulder. So when I was going through my wonky phase, on my drive to work, I would get songs that I could relate to. I'm trying to think of shooting star. I can't remember who. That was probably a 60s, 70s, the shooting stars. It was R&B, I think. You know what I'm talking about? Shooting star.
Yes, I remember the song. I don't remember who did it.
And that would come on repeatedly. At one of the points, I thought I couldn't take my job anymore. I was driving from the plant to the warehouse.
And shove it.
No, that did not come on. That did not come on. It was, I seen the star. I'd never seen anything like it before. You know, you see the pictures of a star with a tail on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I saw. I saw it go like this, and then it burst into a perfect star. And I'm like, be still, my heart. And then one of the songs that Madonna sings had something with the star in it, the shooting star in it. I can't remember the name of that, but things come through. And like sitting on the dock.
Sitting on the dock of the bay?
Yes, that one. Otis Redding. That came on after I had a reading with a medium and my dad came through. So that's where he was at that point in time. And that was probably about 1.5 to 2 years after he had transitioned. We were kind of at arm's length away when he died. He had made choices and I had made choices. I was like, I didn't choose to be around that behavior. And had a discussion with him, and his choice was to do what he was going to do. So that was that. And it's like, I would be around him, and then he died with a massive heart attack suddenly. And I always say, way to go, Dad. What a way to go. Just boom, you're done. There was no suffering. No one had to take care of him, and it was just done and over. And he was doing everything that he wanted to do. So he had a wonderful life. But I was afraid that my dad was going to be upset with me. I was afraid that my dad wasn't going to talk to me. And when I finally got the courage to go to that medium, it was funny. My roommate's mother came through. I always called her my surrogate mother, my surrogate parents from Prairie du Chien. And she trumped my dad. She had a beef with me.
Oh, she wanted to clear that up right now.
Yes, Darla, she said, I have a beef with you. And the beef was that she had passed of pancreatic cancer. And she had stored all this emotion in her. She never processed it. She always seemed like she had it, but she took all of her emotions and stored them in her body. She never processed them. And that's why she developed cancer. So her beef with me was the fact that I was doing the same thing. And it's like, you've got to cry. You've got to let it out. And what she asked me to do was go watch a movie that would make me cry. And I did. I watched that movie with Robin Williams and
Good Will Hunting?
What Dreams May Come, I think.
Oh, What Dreams May Come, yes.
Cuba Gooding Jr., is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Oh, cry like a baby I did.
By the way, we need to take our station break. We're talking with Ann Klossing, and we're gonna talk more about music. And I've got a story for you of how there are two things in my life that are really apparent. One of them happened during the course of this show when you were saying something. The numbers 111 came up, and I looked at my phone at that particular moment. We're going to talk about that, and also a song that is near and dear to my heart that would not, and it would not shut up. Anytime it just kept, it just wouldn't stop. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
These days, it's difficult to be able to do it all, especially as a small business owner. Marketing your business can be really tough, especially developing a presence on social media, creating commercial content, and media production. That's where KMmedia.pro can help. You see, in addition to creating a great podcast called Positive Talk Radio, we also have a radio show, video, audio production, content creation, including commercials, video shorts and trailers, voiceovers, social media development, and so much more. It only makes sense to hire a pro to get your business noticed. That's what we do. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information and to schedule a consultation to take your business dream to the next level. That's kmmedia.pro. Yes, we can. and there I am too. Isn't this fun? And
Yes.
in any event, go to her website, which is AnnKlossing.com, and you can get all kinds of information about her and how to work with her if you would like to go a little bit more in depth about who you really are and how, it's interesting. When I was 42, and this is why the show exists. I had a moment in time when I said, "Why am I really here?" I was in the sales business, and was successful by human standards. I was successful. I had the wife, I had the kids, I had the house, I had the picket fence, I had the dog, the cat, and all that stuff, but I wasn't particularly happy. And it was like, why am I really here? And in the course of that period of time, I went through kind of a spiritual awakening to learn about meditation and spirit guides and all of the things that I now hold to be absolutely true. And there was a song, and there was this song, and it was called "I Hope You Dance" by Leanne Womack.
Oh, I love that song.
And it would play whenever I had a doubt, whenever I was, should I do this? KLAY, the radio station, wanted to host a show, and should I go there or should I not? And that song would play. And it said, follow, I hope you dance, follow your heart, basically, is what I got out of that song. And it is, if we pay attention, those things happen all the time. I think they happen to all of us all the time, but a lot of us say, oh, what a coincidence that was. No, it wasn't. It was by design.
Yes. Or you get irritated. Be who you were born to be. Be who you were born to be. Be who you were born to be. What does that mean?
It means you are who you are. Be who you, I guess. I don't know. What is it now? When you were writing that, what did it mean to you?
I knew I had a big dream. I just couldn't pinpoint it. I knew that at that moment I was here to do something so great to affect the lives of thousands, but I wouldn't admit it. And when I did come out and sit down, I took a journal and a pen and a pad of paper, my favorite pen and my favorite pad of paper, my favorite chair, and I went out into the woods and I set up the grid and I called the archangels in. It's the coolest process ever. And it's like, all right, bring it on. And I outlined the 4 pillars to my vocation. And that was all well and good. And I already had started my book, which still is not finished yet, but I got scared because part of being who you were born to be is admitting it. And just what I want to soften is that you don't have to have this big grandiose dream. You could be who you were born to be, could be, I want to bring as much joy in my daily life as possible. And by doing so, the impact that you have on a daily basis, just by going to the grocery store and walking down those aisles because you are in joy, your energy goes out for miles. You are still affecting thousands of people. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to have a syndicated show. You don't have to be in the limelight. Simply be in the light. Be in the light and live it. And joy and laughter. And there's, I can't think of the guy's name, I apologize, but he wrote a story about a Walmart checker. And I believe his name, I don't want to say. But anyway, people came and they would stand and wait for half an hour to go through this guy's checkout line because he always had something nice to say to the people. And he would treat their children like family. He would keep like little candy or like treats at his side. So if it was a mother and kids, then he would always hand out, and he'd always have a lesson with it. That's how he lived his life. Live it, enjoy, be who you were born to be. So mine was like, okay, I have this grand vision. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I am so scared to do this. And
you, you- Buck up there, Buck. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, so I just started doing it. And I don't know, I didn't do it right. I did it my way. I what I would tell people is, if this is what you want to do, is go into entrepreneurship, don't quit the day job. I quit the day job. I took a part-time job. Then I thought I had the world by the butt again and quit my part-time job. And then it was like nothing came in, no income. It's like, because I did not believe in myself. I started questioning my gift. I started questioning, is this really, this is just shit you're making up, Ann. And it's not, because everybody I work with is blown away by it. And that's the pleasure of what I get, is to take someone who comes in and they're in the middle of takeoff in their rocket ship, and they're just jittery, and they're just, they have a good life. They know that, but they're just not feeling well. And they can't define it because they're looking in the wrong directions. So when you come to me, we do the reading, we get down to what you need to do. And sometimes it is taking your chair and the journal and all your pretty crystals and going out in the woods and getting quiet with spirit. And that's your discovery. Sometimes it's simply going for a walk. Sometimes it's, and I think I maybe shared this story with you pre-show, which was, look behind the couch. And when you look behind the couch, there was a concert t-shirt that slipped behind there. And this woman needed $6,000 for a medical procedure. And her and her son were using the tools of Mary Morrissey, and they were sourcing and sorting. And one of the things that came out was look behind the couch. And the woman dismissed it. And the son says, no, Mary says we check them all out. I'll go look behind the couch. Pulled the couch out. Here was a concert t-shirt, pristine in its package, never opened. I don't know who it was, but they took it to a vendor. She needed $6,000. It was worth $8,000. Look behind the couch. It's things that it's be who you were born to be. Another thing they would tell me is upside down. What does upside down mean? Upside down means to whatever experience you're in, whatever situation you're in, you turn it upside down. You get a different perspective. So where does truth lie? Typically upside down in the underbelly of the experience.
And I know that you've had these experiences happen to you a lot. And they've happened to me. I can't tell you how many stories that I have in my journey from beginning to end, which all started, with I was a professional traveling sales guy. I talked to vice presidents. I played golf at hoity-toity places and had $400 dinners and that kind of stuff. And then but then over time, my experience led me to become a bus driver who was talking to people who could not pay $2 for bus fare. And that educated me as to the reality of the human existence in all of its forms, and that we all need to take care of each other in a much broader way. And the interesting thing is, I was reading a book. It's called Journey of Souls, and by Dr. Michael Newton. And I've had the opportunity to interview him on the air and stuff. And I one of the things that happens when we go back to the other side, when we transition, we have a life review. And during this life review, this gentleman was talking about all the good things he'd done, all the things, philanthropy, all the money he'd given away, and all the things that he had done of greatness. And I've done this. And they showed himself walking down the street, and there was a young person who was on a bench, and she was crying. And he stopped. And he took the time and he sat down. Didn't say anything, he just sat there. And eventually he said, "How are you? And how can I help you?" And that was, according to Dr. Michael Newton from the other side, one of the most consequential things that he did in life.
Yeah.
Was being there for another human being so that they could get through what it was that they needed to get through. And that, I think, is the essence of our existence for each of us here is to do those simple things, even if it's just to say hello to the checker at the grocery store who's been on her feet for 9 hours, doesn't want to hear or talk to anybody else because people have been mean to her all day long and she's tired of it. And then you come up and you're nice. And it's like, that can change somebody's life, and it gives them the vibration like you were talking about.
Yes.
It raises everything. And isn't that what this is all about?
Yes, absolutely. It's, I've got things on my vision board that they're things. And if they don't happen, I'm okay with it. Because what gives me the most joy is when I can watch a client get it. It's like, I see. You see that shift in them. And it's like, it's a moment of clarity that I get to watch in people. And I find it fascinating every time. And especially when they come back and they've done the work and they want to share it because they're so excited about their new path. They've discovered it with their soul. So what I don't want people to get the misinterpretation is that the soul's going to come out and say, well, you need to go be a writer and you're going to do this and this and this. That's not how it works. You discover that with your soul. There will be certain clues and hints and this, that, and the other thing. I have had some where it's been like loss of father at a young age, where they came together as souls in a journey meditation, said their goodbyes and their healing, and that they could go back to that space and revisit whenever they wanted to, and that's the beauty of some of the stuff that comes through. But having the expectation that you're going to have, your best friend come through or whatever, try not to set that expectation. Just be open to it, because that's may not be the healing or the information that you need right now. You might think that's it, but your soul knows exactly what you need. Exactly what you need.
And I'm here to tell you that when I transition, they're not going to hear from me. I'm going to be too damn busy doing other stuff.
Oh, look, he's over there, and over there.
Exactly. I'm going to have the time of my life, because that's just a continuation of what this existence is.
Exactly.
And, so and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Because I've had readings. I had a reading a month or so ago on the air. And I said, does anybody have anything to say to me? And she said, I got to tell you, I got a room full of people here, and I don't know who goes first. Because they are invested in us. And whether they say anything to us or not, they're invested in us, and they're watching us. And they're taking care of us, and they're helping us to get through. This is a hard place to be. You know that.
Yeah.
The human experience is a tough thing. It's one of the toughest things in the universe. And if you look at it from the perspective of only the bravest of the brave come here, because they recognize how difficult an experience it is from where they came from, which is all love and light and taking care of each other, to here, which ain't that.
It ain't that. And that was funny you bring that up, because the live channel I did this morning, if I can remember most of it, the nuts and bolts of it was the creator, God, higher source, whatever you want to call it, did not put you here to be alone. So you're never alone, even when you think you're alone. The other thing is that erased your memory of all that is to protect you. And that was a new insight for me, that the reason that you don't remember is because if you came in knowing everything that you know over lifetimes, you'd explode. The human mind can't comprehend it. It would be like your circuit board just went. So it's a protection thing. And it's there. It's all there for you on the other side, and you can tap into it at any point in time. So it's not like, got to erase your memory so you're starting from scratch. It's not that way. It's that God didn't want your mind to explode because it would. if you realize, so when I connect, I did this morning because I had a really wonky dream. And then I shut my eyes again and I just see this blue. Oh, it's just this blue, just picture a sky with all the twinkling stars, only billions of stars. And I just tune into that. And I know that those are the beings there that watch me when I sleep, that they're there working with me and fixing me and adjusting my energy and doing all the things for me while I sleep, so that I can be in this world of gravity and pressure. And it's a beautiful thing. And when you can get to that point, and not everyone is visual, but some people feel them. They feel the essence of the beings around them. That's cool. I get that at times, but not all the time.
My guides are around a conference table, and they are conspiring with other guides and with other groups. As an example, my guides talked to your guides about having you on this show because it was going to be an important thing, and it was going to give somebody the opportunity to change their own life. By the way, we're talking, and I'm going to take one last break, I promise, and that'll be it. And Klossing is our guest, and go to our website, which is annklossing.com, and we're going to find, when we come back, in 30 seconds, folks, please, just 30 seconds, we are going to talk about how you can get a hold of her, how you can work with her, and the advantages of having somebody outside of yourself to tell you that there's nobody else there, that we're all here together and we're all one. We'll be right back.
They have your eyes. They have your ears. They have your smile. Now all they need is a little more of your time. Make a difference in your child's life, because anyone can be a father. It takes time to be a dad.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. I got to tell you, I am busier than a one-armed paper hanger. And if you don't know what that means, go talk to somebody from the South. They'll know what that means. But Ann Klossing is with us, and I want to thank you, first of all, for being here. You talk about the things that make you energetic, and some people might say it's meditation and being quiet. For me, doing this with you is the most energetic, exciting experience that I can have.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You will be on again and again.
Wonderful.
And again.
I like that music.
Because there's so much to talk about that we are getting an understanding of. And oh, by the way, the things that you talked about in, like today, in your meditation, in your channeling, I'm hearing that more and more from other people who do not know each other, have never met each other, haven't read the same books, haven't gone to the same movies. They're all coming to these conclusions all by themselves in conjunction with their soul and the other side. Do you agree with that?
I do. And what comes through with we are three fundamental universal laws, which are law of vibration, law of attraction, and law of free will. And they're really encouraging me to talk openly about the law of free will, which is to be, do, or have anything in this lifetime, but to be respectful of others. So not to be thinking, feeling, acting, or speaking on another's behalf. Now, we've talked about relationships. So we talked about that first marriage I had, and I always called him the poor bastard because I put expectations. I was thinking for him. I was expecting him to act in a certain way and not expressing it. That's not practicing the law of free will. So practicing the law of free will is just a discernment tool. And it's sorting what's mine, what's his. What's mine, what's my daughter's. What's mine, what's my partner's. What's mine, what is the bus driver's. It's every person we interact with. And if everyone implemented it as it is to be, we would have a very peaceful world. But it can create that contrast when we start thinking for another, feeling for another. And empathy is different. So like in a funeral procession, you're in the visitation line. How many people say, I'm sorry for your loss? Sorry is an apology. You had nothing to do with that. What I like to do is my sympathy and my condolences, because you have nothing to be sorry for. So the law of free will is just practice. Just check it out. Just, what's mine? And then when you think these thoughts about someone, damn it, he didn't put the toilet lid down. Did he do it to spite me? There's some people that, damn it, he did it again. He's doing this to me. Doing what? He simply left the toilet lid up. So there's no crime in that. So it's kind of lightening up our criticism, our judgments, all that other thing. So, and vibration is your being. So it's your emotions. What are you living in? Are you living in despair? Are you living a life of joy? All those 22 emotions, and there's lots more than that, but easier to put them in the scale like Esther Hicks and Jared Hicks did. And then the law of vibration, or the law of attraction, answers to your vibration. So if you're not feeling your best, you're going to get more of whatever it is you're feeling in whatever your environment is. So those are the three laws that they're really passionate about. The other thing is connection to source, connection to soul, connection to your guardian angel. And then combining those three laws is, let's take our thought process from the forefront of our mind and move it into our heart. That is such an awareness tool. When you stop that repetitive habit of thinking, when you drop that thought into your heart space, your heart has memory. They have science behind this. Your heart is a thinking tool all of its own. That is the heart. That is the universe. That is a thinking tool of the universe. That when you bring your soul up from the harrow point behind your navel, and you invite your soul into your heart, and you invite your guardian angel into your heart, and you invite the creator into your heart, and you go, what am I to do with whatever it is for you? How can I look at this differently? What limitless possibilities do I have? And sit and quiet and listen to that. And my heart's just going.
Exactly. By the way, there is another law. It's the law of freedom, which means that since I live alone, I can leave the toilet seat up and nobody cares.
That's right. That's right.
So for me, it just works out just fine. Thank you very much.
I was just giving a silly example.
But
some people get very irate about the toilet seat being up. So
well, but when you think about it, and if it was dark and it was 3:00 in the morning, and I was a woman and I had to use the toilet, and I sat down and fell into the water, I can understand why that would piss you off just a little bit.
That's a sobering moment too.
Boy, no kidding.
You're awake like right now.
By the way, and if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
They can go to my website. There should be a link in there on if you want to get on my email list. Otherwise, my email is Ann, A-N-N, at AnnKlossing.com. So Ann at AnnKlossing.com. I am on Facebook. That is my name, Ann Klossing. You can direct message me. My programs will be changing. I'm looking at a tiered type of program, and I've got an angel reading program right now for $47. That is connects you with your angel. You will get your angel's name, the color of your angel, the color of your soul. You'll get a message from your angel and or soul. And I'm going to take you through this Trinity meditation where you will do that connecting in your heart and introduce you to your guardian angel. You can use that recording over and over again. And then I will also email you the written meditation that I encourage everyone to do, and get a recorder app on your phone, record it in your own voice, because there is only one you and only one vibration, and that is uniquely yours. When you listen to your own voice in meditation, you automatically call in the soul.
And thank you so much for being here. Sadly, we got to go. I've run out of time. As a matter of fact, I'm over time, but what do you do? I've enjoyed this conversation. You're going to have to come back, and we're going to do more because you and I are like two peas in a pod. We agree because this is, in my opinion, I got to stop saying that. I know that this is just the way it is. And we'll be back soon, everybody. And thank you so much. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because